Hey guys, so welcome to Overshot, a paintball podcast. We're just going to give you guys a little intro this time because unfortunately, Arroyo is our guest, but he has the famous WILROCS connection, and he was dropping in and out the whole time, and I unfortunately had to cut out different parts where he dropped out, so you guys don't have to sit there and listen to Waldo and I talk for 20 minutes as we wait for him to come back. But his episode was so good. He said we shared a great story. We had a great convo, so I wanted to get it to you guys. So we're just sorry about the edits that had to be done. We normally like to leave it, go throughout the whole thing. No edits, no nothing. But unfortunately, we had to this time. So we just hope you guys enjoy the episode. And, enjoy.
All right, guys. And we just wanted also to announce today's very special sponsor, 2KE Graphics and Embroidery, located in South Jersey. They are a local shop. They help out the community. Very grassroots in what they do. Big customers with landscapers, construction companies, the local youth leagues and everything like that. So hit up Doug at 2kegraphics.com. Definitely shoot him out an email. That's the number 2, letter K, egraphics.com for any of your custom embroidery needs. We use them to do our beanies. We've used them in the past for other things like engravings as well on trophies. So definitely hit them up, and we look forward to getting in it with Will. He's a special character and
to the show, man.
Yes, what up? What's going on, man? This is awesome. It's so cool that you got sponsors running with you, for the podcast. It's so awesome.
Yeah, we got some new.
To both of you guys.
Thanks. We got some new ones coming up. I don't want to say anything yet until the check is in the bank, but we do have some new ones that are a part of the GZ family that will be coming soon.
Oh, so awesome, bro. Congratulations to both of you, bro. It's been a big hit, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? You got tons of fans. You got a bunch of people tuning in and subscribing. And I only see greatness happening. So that's a good thing for the both of you.
Yeah, we're just growing it, every day, little by little. And it's cool. I had a real coming to moment a couple weeks ago. We were playing cousins. We were playing the walk-ons on the airball. And I introduced myself to some kid. I was like, "What's up, man? My name's Travis." And he goes, "Yeah, I know you. You're the guy from the podcast." I was like,
"No way."
Oh, cool, dude. What's up?
Isn't that awesome, bro, man?
I was like, damn, dude. People are listening.
You guys planted a little seed, and now it's growing. It's so awesome, bro.
Hey, we're just trying to get people to tell their stories, man. We're all making new paintball stories every week, and they got to be told.
Yeah, no, this is a great thing, man, and it happened at a great time too. You know what I'm saying? So that's another blessing as well.
Yeah, right. It really did. We got blessed because no one has anywhere to be. So when I message people on the internet, I know they're going to answer.
Yes, 100%, bro.
But speaking of the paintball stories, let's talk about King of the Mounds. What an event!
Yeah,
what an event!
Yeah, it was awesome. We had 8 of the hottest, newest teams in the area. The event was really to grow the sport, kind of to introduce the next up and coming players, the next killers, the next popular teams, and to show really what New York and the tri-state area and the surrounding region has to offer. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was focusing on that event. And we were blessed to play on Top Gun's newest Mounds field.
A lot of fun.
What do you think about that field?
I love that field. It's a lot of fun. I mean, games can be won on that field, which I like. A lot of the times you see, when we played in Massachusetts the other day, it was a good field, but you could tell the field was not designed to be won on. It was designed for you to shoot 9 pods on,
Yes. More for I totally understand. That's the feedback I got too. It was you got to the 50 and then it was the Terror Dome. To get past the 50, it was very hard. You had to almost do the Malachi crunch and all 5 of you guys run at the same time in different directions and attack.
Yeah, or you had to get lucky, use the paintball force and just run through a lane.
Yes, exactly. But I heard it was a great event. P&L did a great job, I heard. Big ups to those guys over there.
I mean, I had a great time. I'll always say that I mean, regardless of the score, like obviously I wish I would have played better. I think everyone on our team wish we could have played better. But anytime you get the opportunity to play dudes like the BKI professors and some of the other dudes were there, you got to jump on that. You got to.
Yeah. Yes. Always playing talent makes you a better player for sure.
Dude,
You know?
100%. But not to take the focus away from your event. So you guys had the belt. We had Darcy actually on the other day. I'm waiting to get his stuff. We should have his podcast out soon, but he brought the belt. What a brilliant idea that was to give that away instead of a trophy. So like, how did that come up? Did you just like, was that out of your brain?
Well, the ICPL did the championship belt, and I've been saying it for a while because I keep seeing this thing on Facebook. It does like, I'm into wrestling and old school wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it keeps popping up on my Facebook. And I kept saying, this would be great for an event. And then sure enough, when we went to ICPL last year in Chicago, that was like the number one prize. It was a championship belt. And I went, if I do another event, I'm definitely doing a championship belt because people love to like, you know, you could slam somebody in the head with the belt. You could walk around and wear it at practice. You know, I mean, I wish I can give away 7 belts. That's the big goal. If I can give away 7 belts, forget about it. The way you guys would act if you all had a belt each.
We'd be wilding out.
You'd probably go to diners and stuff with your belt and stuff like that, you know?
I would.
Oh, 100%. And so the belt was, I got a lot of great feedback from a lot of the other people in the industry. They said the belt looked really good. It was a great prize. And then they also said that the stacks of ones was
such a good idea
because it made it look like
Yep.
It.
I'm keeping it forever. I'm not getting rid of it.
I love it, man. That's so great, bro. It's your personal stack.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's $100. That's not a lot of money, but having like this big stack of money is super cool.
Yeah, and a lot of people thought it was like $10,000, you know. So a lot of feedback I got from that was, even though it was $1,500, it looked like $10,000. So it made it even look that much cooler. And tons of pictures of everybody. I don't know what this means when they put the stacks near the ear.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, everybody did it. It was like the new trend. I don't know. Everybody was doing it for photos. So that was really cool. And like I was saying, we had 8 of the coolest teams on a Mounds field that was very scientifical, very mathematical, very like you had to figure out how to win. You know what I'm saying? And the great thing about Mounds is it's so unpredictable. You can just get a blooper shot in your head and you can die, you know what I'm saying? So you got to know when to battle, when to choose your battles, when shit is hot and when shit is not, and make things happen. I watched the game of you guys play. It was you guys against GZ Silver, and you dipped into the middle.
Yeah.
And you played that X area perfectly, bro. And I got it on video, and I'm announcing the whole thing, and I'm saying, all right, Travis DeLay is in the middle. GZ Silver's got like the cross going on. But if you check out Travis right now, he's actually figuring out where the window is, where it's going to happen. And it was so awesome to see, because since I've been back in paintball, you were one of the first people I met.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like when I was there the day you came back. It's pretty cool to say that.
Yes, and it was so awesome to see your progression in paintball since I met you 2 years ago, I think it was.
That day in the wet and wild slop.
It was incredible. You've grown so much, man. So big ups to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, that's literally what I was at that time. So yeah, they had 2 guys left, and I didn't even trust myself or the count. So I was gonna make sure I knew exactly where everybody was, because I knew we had the time and I wasn't gonna push it. So I'm like, okay, where is everybody? Like,
yes.
So I know to get them. I figured out where 2 of them were. I called them out to my teammates, bunkered the one guy. My other teammate bunkered the other guy. See you later. Bye.
It was perfectly done. I mean, it was textbook. It was like you knew the time. You figured it out. You didn't pressure yourself. You didn't rush anything. And then you saw the window and you went for it. And you did a nice run through. You took the main guy out that was causing mad problems. and then broke open the game. It was an excellent game, bro. I'm glad you guys came in second. So
Yeah.
yeah, Brotherhood came in second. Jeezy
Yeah, we were
Red
happy to
came-
help them. So happy to help them. We're glad that they asked us. They asked us to play again. We're probably going to play with them again in the woods unless Richie decides he wants to put a team in.
Yes. No, that would be very cool if you stuck with Brotherhood, because it just makes I mean, it's gonna show those guys how to do it. You know
I
what I'm
do. I
saying?
got a lot of satisfaction out of helping some of the younger guys.
And that's the biggest payoff in paintball, is when you actually teach other people what you've learned.
Hmm.
And if we can all do that, the sport will grow so much faster, because back in the day, nobody used to share shit. Nobody
Yeah.
used to tell anybody anything. It was like a secret. It was like, nobody told anybody anything unless you were in like the circle. If you were
Right.
inside the circle, you can go up to Crystal Sawyer and be like, nigga, how'd you get past that one guy over here? And what side is the better pushing side? And then some of these cool cats would be like, well, Will, just go down the ravine, and on the left hand side, and that's the push side, it's the sneaky side, it's not really the spectator side. Do it on the non-spectator side. Plus there's not as many refs and not as many people watching, so you can
Right.
really do some damage over there.
That's
They
when
give you
people
the
going,
real
ooh,
scoop. Yeah, they give you the real scoop. And back in the day, they never really did that unless you were in the circle. I was blessed. I was always in the circle, which I'm lucky. But nowadays, everybody shares, which is a great thing. That's what I love
Yeah.
about players like you and even Jonathan. When he played on the 24 karat team at OXEC, he was a team player. That was the best part about it. He didn't mind talking to other people. He didn't mind overshooting people. He did exactly what we love to do. You know what I'm saying? Which was cause havoc and have a good time and try to do the best as possible. If we had a better team, we probably would have done better. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of fun. So I was
Yeah.
glad to have Jonathan
Tons of
on
fun.
that team.
Yeah. And the Mounds was just a great tournament. You had villains. You had you had X-Men, which I think is an older team. It was a really nice collective group of teams.
Yes. It was a little old school. The purpose of doing it was really so that teams that didn't really win had a chance to win. So I invited like the All Americans too. I invited like
Oh, how could I forget them? Yeah, Joe's my
X-Men.
man.
Yeah, X-Men, and then a new team that they used to play back in the day, but came back just to play, was Wolfpack.
Right. I
Remember
heard
those
of
guys?
old school Wolfpack, but I didn't recognize really any of those dudes.
No, these weren't the Long Island Wolfpack that do damage.
Hmm.
This is like an old team that used to play back in the day, and so they just called each other up and were like, "Yo, let's get together and play." And I thought they did okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I just love the fact that you're bringing these events to the area. It gets the people that are dedicated to playing some tournament ball like a reason to get out.
Yes. That was the feedback I got from Brotherhood and a lot of other teams, New York Villains and stuff like that. Yeah, if we can grow the next teams so that we can all go with the Mad Posse to like a ICC or an ICPL or a RICO event in Florida, where we have 5 teams
Yeah.
from New York just ripping it up. That would be my biggest goal. Like I would truly love something like that to happen.
Yeah, just
So
really bring
yeah,
back
the event was great.
our area.
Yeah, I love the event. The next event is the King of the Woods event, and my plan is to basically do
Yeah.
the four elements of mechanical, which is King of the Woods, King of Hyper, King of the Mounds, and King of the Hybrid. And then at the very end, do a mix of all the events together in one big event and give away one belt for each field that you play on. So the winning team will have a belt from each element of mechanical, which would be
That's
one belt
awesome.
would be King of the Woods, King of the yes, and then hopefully I'm talking to sponsors now, and it looks like I got a few nice ones
Mhm.
that are willing to give up some money. So if I can really get some sponsors for the final one and give away like $10,000 for first prize,
That'd be huge.
as the main one, that would be so big, because then 2021 will blow up, and that's what I really want. Hopefully, I'll get some other teams out of the woodwork. I got some teams right now that are calling me that want to jump in on this one. That I can't announce them until they pull the trigger. But if they pull the trigger, it's going to be so awesome. You guys are all going to fall on the floor. They're two of the dopest teams back in the day, but they broke up and now they're revamping their whole team. So they're coming back, which is going to be, it's going to be a scary name. Like when you hear the name, you're going to be like, but it's a revamped team. So, you know what I'm saying? So I would try to throw the beatings if I could,
Yeah, I'm trying to throw everyone the beatings,
so that's
man.
my plan. But
yeah, I'm trying to throw everyone the beatings.
So August 16th is the King of the Wood event, and I'm looking for one. It's at Manchester, New Jersey.
Yeah, man.
Cousins.
That should be an awesome event. I'm super excited. So I'm gonna go back to something you just kind of slipped on over. So you plan on doing a King of the Hybrid? A hyper. Where are you thinking about holding that event at?
I'm thinking about doing that one in September, and just told recently a really nice hyperball field in our area that hasn't been really played yet. That's amazing. So I'm going to check that one out as soon as the King of the Woods event is over.
Oh, awesome. With that, so
Great.
I want to pick it up where like we were talking about before with so there was that big, you guys were in Iceland back in the day. I don't even know. So during this whole fight thing with Matty Marshall was telling us, why were you guys over there? Because did Ground Zero have a team over there at this time?
We were reffing. We were doing our European tour for the Millennium Series. So you got to ref one of the events.
Okay.
So sure enough, we wanted to ref Sweden because Alex and Max had their house there, and we knew we would go there for the whole summer, and then just party all the time until the event came, and then we would referee. So during that whole time, it was like 2 weeks before we refed, and we're going from island to island because there's like these little, or town to town, and Alex and those guys knew the best clubs of all the places. He was like VIP of everything. So we got into all the clubs. It was like 150 people waiting at the door, and we just walk right in, and everybody be like, "Oh wow!" So we went in. We were partying, and we're all drunk off our faces. And I never forget, I'm talking to this like Vietnamese girl or something, and I'm ready to take it home with me. Like it's all set up and everything. It's all beautiful. And she's with a whole bunch of friends. So I'm like, okay, one for him, one for Maddie, one for this one for that one. And I'm all set up, and I'm like, oh, I'm the man. Oh, I can't wait. So then the one girl goes, hey, isn't that your friend outside? And sure enough, it was Drunk Pete. Drunk Pete Upchick. He always could never hold his liquor, or he'd always drink too much, So I look down, and I'm up on the upper level. It's like 2 stories high, and we're on the balcony. And I look down, and I see him, and they kick him out. So now he has to wait online, because he's not with Alex and the VIP crew.
Right.
So he refuses to wait online. And so then all of a sudden a giant fight starts. And I'm like, okay, so Pete's waiting. Before the fight started, I'm like, yeah, okay, so Pete's waiting. Let me go get Max or Alex real quick. And you girls stay right here. So I go to get them, and the girl goes, hey, your friend's in a fight now. And I look down in the balcony, and I see Mr. U fighting like 10 people.
Yeah.
And so the bouncers jump in, and everybody starts throwing him a whopping. It's like, oh my God, it's the American. Let's get him. So the girls come up to me and they go, oh, you're American, right? I went, yeah, I told you that when I got here. What kind of accent do you think this is? You know? And they loved me before that. They loved me before that. But because Mr. U was fighting everybody, they thought we were a bunch of John Waynes. And so they all get mad at me, you know? So then I went, you know what, girls? I got to split anyway. I got to go help my friend. I'm out of here. Peace out. So I run down the stairs, and there's like, the fight moves on, and I jump into the fight, and I punch one guy in the face, and then Oliver Lang comes over, and he drop kicks another kid, and then Maddie comes running over, and then I think Alex and Max might have came over to stop everything, or they were controlling the bouncers or something like that. It was crazy. So then I grab Mr. U and I drag him out. He's on the floor, knocked out. Like, and some guy, the last guy who hit Mr. U. So right away I go chasing him like 3 blocks, and I'm running, and I look behind me and I see Oliver Lang right behind me, and he goes, "Will, come on, we're gonna get this guy." And I'm like, "Yes, we're gonna get this guy. We're gonna throw him a beat right now." So then all of a sudden we catch the guy, and I punch the one guy in the face, and the other guy gets scared. There was 2 of them. So then Oliver Lang pulls up, and one of the guys throws a punch at me, and the other guy tries to do like some karate kick to me, you know? And then from there, Mr. U must have woke up and came running over, and then those guys got scared. Those guys got scared and ran into McDonald's, and we all ran in there just tearing up the McDonald's. We threw things at everybody. It was nuts. Maddie was there. I think Nikki Vegas there. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, from what he said, Nikki Vegas was there, and apparently he picked up a bike and threw it at somebody.
Yeah, that might have been France.
Oh, okay.
That was another fight. That was in France. That was sick. Yeah, we had many adventures. That whole European tour was nuts. When we won the Millennium Series that year, it was off the chart. We went from country to country, just beating asses, or coming in second, or coming in first. I think we took 3 first places. We won Denmark. We left Sweden, so we got 100 points for that. And we came in second in England, and we came in second in another tournament in England, and we did horrible in Amsterdam. Everybody was high and tripping and all types of shit like that, so we did really bad at that one. But we still won the Millennium Series. It was awesome.
And that was with Ground Zero?
That was a great story. Yeah, that was with Ground Zero. Yes. That was the 2001 Millennium Tour. And then we were playing the PSPs as well. And we won that series as well. Was it the NPPL? I think it might have been. NPPL. We won both series. We won the world title and the Millennium title and the overall title, which was, I think we were one of the first teams, if not the first team, to win both of them. The European and the world and the nipple title, which was a great feat. So that was very cool.
I mean, that's freaking amazing. I mean, that's paintball history right there. I mean, it's why GZ is legend.
Yeah, I mean, after that, I think 2 years later, the 10-man split up, and we stopped playing 10-man, and we started going into X-Ball. And my heart is, to be honest, with 10-man. I love 10-man, and that's why it's so awesome it's back now.
Yeah, it's great that it's back.
10-man now. 10-man now is incredible. So.
Yeah, it's great. You get the great mix of like the younger guys, like me and my brother.
Thing. Ground Zero is a beautiful thing, man.
Oh, it's so great. Not only do I get to meet legends like you and Rosie and Mooner and all these guys, I get to play with all these guys, but just and the enemies I get to play against, the knowledge you guys are handing down to us, unbelievable.
Yeah, it is pretty. It is pretty awesome. The reason why I came back is because I see so much talent in our area, and I did see enough. I don't like to waste time. People might say, "Will, you're crazy. Like you're pushing the buttons. You're a little aggressive. You're this and that." But it's because I don't want to waste any time. I can't. There's no time to waste. And even when I first started playing on Ground Zero, you should have saw me, Trav and John. If you would have saw me back then, I was ruthless. I used to tell the older guys, listen up, bro. If you don't carry 10 pods on you and shoot for me while I can do my magic and shoot some people and get my squirrely ass up there, and once I get up there, all I need for you to is keep their heads down. I'm gonna bunker 2 or 3 people. I'm gonna shoot somebody that sticks his head up. Just help me with this, okay? And
Right.
after like 1 or 2 games, I would tell them straight up. I would be like, "You fucking suck. You gotta either retire or change your style of game." I was really ruthless, and I was I think, a pivotal player to getting the team on the right track to becoming a winning team. Because a lot of the guys on the team were more like, well, we're just going to go through the motions and have a good time and enjoy ourselves. I was like, no, we got to win.
Right.
You know?
100%.
And I was like that. Yeah, when I first played on East Coast Eliminators before Ground Zero, we did an NPPL tour. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your video's lagging a little, but your audio's fine.
Hello? Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, so we were doing a 5-man nipple tour, and we made a promise that we would go to every single nipple 5-man, and we would try to do something with it. So it was like me, Tommy Aguilera, and then since we were on East Coast Eliminators, we got Jimmy Murray, and we were always like, we got to get Danny McMonagle and we got to get Pete Riley. That'll be the ultimate 5. We'll destroy people and blah blah blah. So every once in a while somebody could make it, so we'd get a special guest and stuff like that. But by the 3rd event we played in the 5-man, they asked us to go pro.
Nice.
So we were in a big huddle, and the way it used to work back then was you'd play 5-man, right? You'd play the prelims, and if you scored enough points more and you beat up on the pros in your brackets, you could push out one of the pro teams and you can go pro, and they would get bumped out for that event. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I never forget, Tom Cole comes up to us and says, well, you have the ability to go pro. Do you guys want to go pro? And I remember Pete Riley and everybody else, there was 4 against 1. It was like, I was the only one saying, let's go pro. Fuck these guys. Let's do this. And they were like, no, because then we can't play events. We can't, we can't do, we'll be banned. We won't be able to do anything except play pro. And there's not enough pro events for us to go to, so we'll be fucked. And East Coast Eliminators won something, I think in 92 or something. They won, and they went pro, so they had to go through that scenario. They didn't want to do it again.
Right.
But me, I didn't go through that scenario, so I was like, fuck that, we're going pro right now. And
Right.
I never forget, it was like Palm Beach Predators, All Americans 2, it was like, and 3 other teams, like Phantom Force, all pro teams standing around me. And they were saying, go pro, go pro, go pro. You'll knock out this guy. They're just ahead of us in the standings. And if you knock them out, we might have a chance of winning the overall title and this and that. I went, you guys shut up, man. I went, Pete Riley, Jimmy, oh, you guys come over here. Let's fucking do this, bro. And they were like, no. And then I said this one speech in front of everybody and went, fuck these guys. You see, these guys were way better than these guys. Look at this guy. I pointed at one guy on the Palm Beach Predators. I went, he ain't fucking shit. Real loud. And then they all thought I was nuts. Like, all these teams were like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? And I was pointing at each and every one of them saying, this guy fucking is a chump. This team fucking sucks. Let's make the move. And then Jimmy Murray, I never forget, goes, let's do it, Will. And then fucking Tommy goes, yes, let's go. So there was like 3 of us, and it was 3 against 2. And then I was like, that's right, motherfuckers, we're going pro. And then the other 2 guys were like, okay. So then we went pro, and we played the finals. No, we played the semifinals, and we came in seventh. You know what I'm saying? I guess we weren't that as good as we thought, but we still we still made some noise. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely went pro then. So then we were pro. There was 5 of us that were pro, and the rest of the East Coast Eliminated guys were still ranked as amateur. We were still playing on their amateur team.
Right.
So I guess the word got around after that event, and the next event we were invited to a practice at Survival New York field, and to play against Master Blasters. And they were thinking about forming a new team. So we practiced against them, and we did really, really good against them. It was back and forth battle, and we were winning most of the games, but they won 2 games, but we won most of them. That's the truth. And so then the problem was they had 5 really good players: Mooner, Rosie,
right,
Danny Wiesel, another guy called Davey Arnold. Davey Arnold, the Kung Fu fighter.
Yeah.
Davey Arnold. Yeah, he's back. I once watched Davey Arnold karate chop a bunker, and he went to go bunker somebody, and his whole elbow blew up. It was like a hematoma on his elbow.
Dang.
I never saw that in my life. He took out a knife and he cut it open, and all this blood came flying out. I went, that guy's a bad motherfucker, So then it was 5 of those guys, and then they had like another guy named John Lick, and another guy, and then they had these other guys called the Aliveris. They were like a local team that they were going to pick up and get 5 of them and 5 of those guys and form Ground Zero. Well, anyway, after practice, that whole idea was over. You know what I'm saying? The Aliveris got mad and they left because we were throwing them beatings. Right. And so then Rosie came up to us and said, why don't we take 5 of you guys and we'll form Ground Zero, and we will our first event will be Chicago, like that. And so then they had to think about who they were going to pick and blah blah blah, like that. Right. So then one of the guys from the Master Blasters played with us on the 5-man tour. His name was Paul Scud. I don't know if you ever met him. Paul Scud. Do you know him?
I've heard his name thrown around.
No. Yes, I figured maybe John would know. Paul Scud. So Paul Scud played one of the 5-mans with us, and so he was telling Mooner and Rosie and those guys, you got to pick the psychopath Will, and and he'll get the rest of them. He's very good at like getting the troops rallied. Right. And he'll know who to pick. So they, sure enough, they came up to me. They like, all of a sudden I saw these hillbillies. It was like Rosie and Mooner, and they all surrounded me, and they were like, listen, we're going to pick you up. You're going to come to an event, but we want to know who to pick. And I was like, well, you got to pick up Jimmy Murray. You got to pick up that psychopath Danny McMonagle. You got to pick up that guy with the Mohican, Pete Riley. And then, the rest of them, there's some really good talent in there too. We could pick them up eventually and get rid of the lightweight that you have on your team, and we'll form a really good team. So So that's what we ended up doing. I think we played our first event in Chicago Badlands. That was the first event ever for GZ Ground Zero, and we we made the semis. I think we came in 8th place, which wasn't that bad, but we were getting our asses kicked. You know what I'm saying?
It was your first event
But
as
at
a
that
team.
time, there was like, yes, and at that time it was like 16 pros or 12 pros or something like that. So you had to beat 4 pros in order to get into the semis. You know, so then little by little we just kept playing events, and the first real event we did great at was Skyball.
Mm-hmm.
I was always a big 5-man guy. I was always a big 5. That's all I ever played, you know. And we picked up this guy named Dave Spittle. Jerry got him. Dave Spittle from the UK Predators.
Okay.
Probably the greatest player I ever. One of the greatest players. One of the greatest players I ever met was Mooner, and he
So
didn't
good.
know it. He didn't know how great. He didn't know how great he was. I used to talk to his wife, and I used to be like, "You don't know, Mooner is probably the best guy ever on the East Coast ever." And she goes, "He don't think so." I went, "No, he's probably one of the best players on the East Coast ever." You know what I'm saying? And so every time I would play, Mooner would always play behind me. That was our thing. It was like Mooner behind me. I was in front. I was like the dirt guy, the little dirt devil. And then we'd come up with a plan together, and then I'd like fine tune it. I'd be like, well, I'm gonna go to the next bunker instead of that bunker. I'm gonna go to one more in front of it, you know. And Mooner would be like, okay, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? So we worked really good together. You know, like he would agree to what my maniacness wanted to do, and he was so good he could back me up on it, and it worked plenty of times. So so Skyball came around and we started dividing up the teams, and it was like Mooner was like, I'm with Will, and I'm like, yeah, I'm with Mooner, and we need Jimmy, because Jimmy was like my right hand man. Like if it wasn't for Mooner behind me, I was right behind Jimmy. Like Jimmy would be right in front of me, and I'd be right behind him because he was very intelligent, very smart player, really overall methodical thinker, you know. So we had like a psychopath Will, we had like a methodical thinker Jimmy, we had Mooner, which was like a young buck superstar. We had Dave Spittle, who was like, I mean, probably the smartest player I ever met. He taught me so much. Like I used to gun battle, and he'd be like, "All right, you know, if if you're gun battling and 3 guys are on you, just go shoot somewhere else for a little while. You know what I'm saying? And forget about that angle, and just let me know, and I'll shoot for you, and I'll cover that angle for you while you go look for other kills.
Right.
You don't have to fight those guys. They're already mad. They're already mad at you. You already made them mad. You don't have nothing else to do right now. They're too busy being mad at you. Go look for another fight somewhere else." And I'm like, and the way he used to say things, I'd be like, yeah, like I totally could understand. I'd be like, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go pick a fight somewhere else now, you know. And I'd go to the other side of the bunker and start another fight somewhere else. So he kept me alive a lot. It was great. So it was like the 4 of us, and then we needed one more guy. And I was always a big fan of Danny McMonagle, because I always noticed that other teams feared him, like the All Americans, you know, All Americans. Other teams would really fear him because he made a real big noise when he was on the field.
Yeah.
Like I would hear them. Like that was one of my big things, was I'd always stay in the background and listen to what the pros would do or say, or their little huddles. I wouldn't mind going like right up to the huddle and listening to what they had to say, you know. And they would always say when they played us was, if we shoot that psychopath Danny McMonagle, we're gonna win, you know. And then I would take that personal because I'd be like, I'm a psychopath too. So if they're busy bothering with that psychopath, well, I'm gonna go Rambo on this side of the field, and I'm gonna do crazy shit on this side of the field, because then all 5 guns are gonna be on. So I'm just gonna run down the field and bunker 3 people, you know, and I would
Right.
get away with it so many times. And then I had Mooner behind me, who was like the cleanup king, you know.
Mhm.
So that was our Sky Bowl team, the 5 of us, and we ended up winning it. You know what I'm saying? It was, and that set off a lot. Once we won Sky Bowl, the very next event was Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon. It was a 10
Richard.
man.
Oh, sorry. Richard was saying that was his first win too, and he was like super
Can you hear
pumped
me?
about Portland. Yeah, I can hear you. I think there was a little delay.
Okay, cool. As long as you can hear me, it's cool. So Richie was playing on the East Coast Eliminators on that team. So it was like we had an amateur team and a pro team in it, and it was one of the first events where we actually did that at a bunch of events. At the very first event we played, the second event, it was just they were still East Coast Eliminators. They weren't Ground Zero Gold yet,
Okay.
and it was just Ground Zero and then East Coast Eliminators. And we'd have like special guests on the team, like Nate Greenman from Ono's and Brass Eagle, and a bunch of superstars. A lot of people wanted to play on Ground Zero, so we'd get them on the East Coast Eliminator team, and then we'd pick up other players for the main team, Ground Zero Black. You know, so
Right.
then we went to Portland, and it was a slugfest. And I'll go straight finals. No, I got to tell you this one story. So we're playing the Ironmen. We're playing the Phil Dominguez. You probably met him, John. I know you.
Yeah, I met him. When we went to
Right?
California
Phil
to play.
Yeah. So I call him the Black Rhino, right? Because he's a psychopath. I'd call him the Black Rhino. So I'd be like, all right, Black Rhino, here we go. We're going to go down this tape right here. And at that time, I just got a new Angel. And I had an eye on it. It was one of the first eyes ever made. It was made by Stefan Rodriguez from GZ Silver. And so I was the first guy to have an eye on my Angel. I just got to plug in my charger.
Yep, do it up.
And hello?
Hey, yep, we got you.
Okay, yeah. So so I had an Angel, and I had one of the, okay, great. So I had an Angel with one of the first eyes on it, right? And I remember showing it to Rocky because he had just a regular Angel, and so did Crystal Sawyer. But my Angel would go like this. And you would shake the gun and it would shoot. It'd be like, and I didn't even have my hand on the trigger. It was so crazy, you know? And they were like, what's this wire? They're like, yo, what's this wire in here? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like some crazy eye or something. You know, like my friend made it and he put it on my gun and it's like Excalibur. The thing is like amazing. It shoots by itself. I just got to point at people and it would kill people. So we run down this tape, me, Chris Cole, and the Black Rhino. So I get to my first spot, and I'm just mowing the guy in front of me. He can't even look at me, like, you know. And I'm basically like laughing. I used to taunt people a lot, and I'd be like, "We're coming, get you." Playing cat. The cat was like, oh, and was fucking up to murder him. And he turned over. Did I lose you guys?
No. I think you're good. You're good.
It's the WILROCS show. It's all by himself. WILROCS.
No, you're good, man.
Okay,
Keep going.
cool. You guys disappeared for a second. So it was the WILROCS show for a second. So I bunker that guy, and so then I run that tape, and I never forget Chris Cole and the Black Rhino yelling, "Where the fuck are you going, Will?" and it's like 2 minutes into the game, and I'm already behind them, the whole Iron Man team, because I ran past this one guy. He was fixing his gun. It was like not Benini Brehem. His name was Brian Brehem or something. He was fixing his gun, looking the other way. I just ran past him. I didn't even shoot him, until I behind him, and then I just lit him up. And I had a guy, and I just started shooting the whole. I must have shot about 7 people that game. And I remember Maddie's first year he was playing with those guys, and I roll up on behind Maddie, and I shoot shit out of Maddie like 50 times, and Maddie turns around and goes, "You motherfucker!" like that, and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, dude, and then I'm waving at and I'm behind them. I'm at Pete Riley, and I'm like, Pete, it's me. So they all shoot me, and I'm like, "You motherfuckers! I just shot the whole team, man." So then we won that game, but I had to mention that game, one of my favorite games. So then we get into the finals, and it's like Ground Zero, Lockout, Bob Long's Iron Man, and another team, I think, and it was another team, 4 of us. So this game we beat like Bob Long's Iron Man, we beat the other team, and so now we're playing Lockout, and this is it. And Lockout is beating us. It's like 6 of us against 10 of them, and they're laughing at us. And my friend Mark, we picked him up from Portland. He was a Portland player from Phantom Force. We picked him up for our team. He does a dead man's walk and breaks open the whole entire game, and we win the event. So ever since those 2 wins, we never looked back. And we've just been, I wish we won more events, but we're always in the contention, until 2001 when we did the world domination. So
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to win events. A lot of things
that's
got to
really
go right.
the extent of Ground Zero.
Great episode.
I can't hear you.
All right, guys.
Oh.
Can you?
Thank you for listening to that great episode we had with Will Arroyo, WILROCS. Definitely catch him at his next event that he was plugging, King of the Mounds. We're going to be there, set up with the booth as well. So if you're going to be at that event, hit us up, and we will make sure that you get your time to shine on the podcast. But we want to make sure that everybody knows this was just a teaser on some more great WILROCS stories. Guy's been around a long time in the game. And again, special shout out to 2KE Graphics for always lacing us up and always doing us so much right. Again, it's Doug at 2kegraphics.com for all your custom embroidery, screen printing, and engraving needs. Be safe out there, guys, and we'll catch you on the field.
Peace.
Let the